Hello, everyone. My name is Jen Kraus. I'm the elementary coordinator, and this video is your introduction to CVVA and the Learning Center. On the screen in front of you is our CVVA binder, and in the email, it is provided in PDF form as well as a Microsoft document form. Our goal here today is to watch the video and walk you through the basics of Conestoga Valley Virtual Academy at the elementary level, which includes kindergarten through sixth grade, as well as the basics about the Learning Center. The first screen that you see here in your binder is a table of contents, which is clickable. So if you'd like to quickly get to some information, feel free to pause this and practice clicking through the table of contents to get to different sections. I'm going to be going in order, starting with introducing our CVVA team, explaining the basics of the Learning Center, telling you how we communicate through a platform called Seesaw, providing some phone numbers to elementary contacts, getting started on K-12, which is our national curriculum that is provided by a platform called Stride Learning. I'll also detail our academic support in case your child is in need of more significant support through the year. This section details help desk directions if you're having technical issues with your CV device. I'll review specials that are deployed virtually, not in person, and what PE, music, and art will look like. I'll also include the Conestoga Valley calendar since CVVA is a school within a school. It's important for you to understand that our CVSD calendar, marked with holidays and important dates, are part of our Conestoga Valley Virtual Academy calendar. The last section is customized learning with IXL. I'll explain more of what that means. And on page 18 is an empty page for you to take any notes that you'd like. So let's get started. Our CVVA team is shown here. I'm the coordinator, and Dory is an instructor helping with kindergarten through fifth grade. Our CVVA aide has moved on, so I have a coming soon here. We also have Erica Schnettler, who's part of our CVVA team. She helps support learners who have IEPs and special education needs. You, as the parent and learning coach and the learner, are part of the CVVA team, and our administrator's name is Mel Upton. She oversees Conestoga Valley Virtual Academy, kindergarten, all the way through 12th grade. Day to day, you are likely going to be engaged with Dory and myself most often, unless your learner has an IEP. This section is about the basics of our Learning Center. Inside of Fritz Elementary, we have a classroom that has been completely transformed. Think of it as kind of a modern lounge. You may pause the video now to read through the basics of the Learning Center. In a nutshell, our Learning Center will offer in-person academic support, as well as special events. The academic support sessions and the special events are optional for your child to attend. We'll provide a weekly schedule that will be sent to you through Seesaw. And the weekly schedule will show you what times are open academic sessions for your learner to sign up and come in, bringing their device, bringing their materials to complete some of their K-12 work here inside of the Learning Center. The weekly schedule may also include special events. Some special events are meant only for primary or only for intermediate. Some special events are open to all learners, and that will be detailed in our weekly schedule. In the center of the page, I have some details about what to do before your visit to the Learning Center, when your learner arrives, and the expectations for your learner during their visit in the Learning Center. Ultimately, we want to provide a stronger connection and relationship with your child, whether their goal is to grow academically or grow social and emotionally during our special events. The picture included here is a check-in slip that will be provided to your family each time that your learner comes into the center. We're going to ask you to fill out the check-in slip that tells us maybe they're struggling with a specific lesson at home and you notice that. You can make a note there, tell us if they're planning to stay for lunch, who's picking them up, and at what time. So the first time that you attend the Learning Center, you won't have this check-in slip with you, and then after that, we'll send a stack of these home so that you have them available. These are the basics of our Learning Center. On page 4 in your CVVA binder, this is about our main communication tool called Seesaw. Some of you may be familiar with it. It is a very popular tool that a lot of classrooms use. Seesaw has two different components: a student Seesaw, where your learner has access to their journal and announcements. There's also a Seesaw that's meant just for parents. It will be important for you to make sure that you pause the video now and download the Seesaw app onto your parent device. If you have questions about using Seesaw, I attached a video here that you can use for a short introduction, or you can scan the QR code. The learning coach must download Seesaw and use it for our main form of communication. The reason is we want to prioritize you instead of everybody else in our inbox. And by using Seesaw, we know that we can meet your needs and provide a response as quickly as possible. Next, if your learner is in kindergarten, first, second, or third grade, you will click here to connect your parent account to your child's Seesaw account. The same is true if you have a learner in fourth, fifth, or sixth grade. Please click on that link again to connect your parent account back to your child's Seesaw account. This will make sure that you're using your parent device for the parent Seesaw app, and the child is using Seesaw on their CVSD device. If you have questions about how to use the family app, there are directions and instructions at the bottom, as well as a link to a step-by-step tutorial. You may want to pause the video now and take care of downloading Seesaw on your parent device, and then go ahead and click to be able to connect back to your child's device. Moving through the CVVA binder, I provided a short list here of popular elementary contacts as well as their phone numbers, so you can get directly in touch with those that you need. This next section is called Getting Started on K-12, and these are the very basics of what you need to know about our K-12 platform. There's a section here for you to record your parent username and password, as well as the student username and password. I'll explain more about this back in your orientation email in the second section and the third section called Set Up Accounts on K-12. There will be a separate video that will walk you through this process. For now, it's important for you to understand that these three sections here are the three most popular questions that learning coaches like you want to know about K-12. How do I navigate through the lesson? What support tools do you have in K-12? And how do I see if a lesson is complete, mastered, or skipped? There are YouTube videos and QR links that will answer that question for you in video form. Feel free to pause the video now if you would like to start digesting that information. If not, please revisit this video to make sure that you're watching those videos to learn more about the platform. On page 7, you as the learning coach have expectations each day to log into your daily plan, and I provided some tips here for you as well. We also expect you to enter attendance in K-12 when it prompts your child in the lesson, typically at the end of a quiz or at the end of a test. It's your responsibility to also prepare materials for the upcoming lessons and message the CVVA instructor like Dory or myself using Seesaw when you need help. The bottom of this page is very important. I highlighted it in yellow. These are the expectations that we have. We're referring to them as guide rails, and these represent the minimum of lessons that need to be completed each week. Of course, we want to encourage you and your learner to be engaged 5 days a week. However, we also honor and understand that learners move at their own speed. So these are the minimum amounts of lessons that need to be completed. ELA, 3 ELA lessons must be completed each week on K-12. 4 math lessons, 2 social studies, and 2 science lessons. This is going to be the basis that we use to mark attendance and engagement for your child. If those minimums are not being met, you can expect to hear from CVVA reaching out to you to say, hey, is everything okay? The second section of this column here is the minimum expectations for IXL. IXL will be explained at the end of this video, but you can use this as a reference that we'd also like your K-12 lessons to be complete and additional practice about 20 minutes a day on IXL. The next page is still in our getting started of K-12. This time it's detailing the expectations for the learner that they're logging into their student K-12 account, making sure they're choosing a spot for learning where the screen is visible to you at all times. That builds accountability and trust and responsibility at home. We encourage you to take breaks and complete the lessons in order. And of course, the learners should be asking you for help when they need assistance. That's part of student agency that we're building here in CVVA. At the bottom of page 8, there are details here about when a quiz appears in your child's K-12 lesson. Please pause the video now and read through the details about how you, the learning coach, can support your child during a quiz. The next page here details the levels of academic support that Conestoga Valley provides to learners. Most learners will live in Tier 1 here, knowing that we're consistently communicating with Seesaw, your child is meeting those weekly minimum guide rails, and that we may be making small tweaks along the way to their learning to address any minor concerns. You may pause the video now to better understand if your child would need a Tier 2 level of support or a Tier 3 level of support. We'll be reaching out to you to discuss those levels, and when obstacles arise in your child's learning, we're here to work together with you to address them. Page 10 is about the Conestoga Valley Help Desk directions when you're having technical issues with the hardware, not necessarily with the K-12 platform, but with the hardware of your device. These directions here ask you to log in and submit a new ticket. If you need help in that process, I have a video and QR code listed to walk you through how to submit a ticket and how to adjust some of your preferences. Ultimately, Conestoga Valley Tech Department will reach out directly to you, usually through a phone call, to help resolve the issue virtually or ask you to come in and swap the device. Specials are virtual, which means that you're completing some gym activities. It might be attending a trampoline park or going for a walk. Let's keep it simple. Record your activity about the time that your learner did it and go ahead and initial it. I provided 2 pages here, and you'll turn that in at the end of the year, and that will mark your completion of gym. For music and art, I have directions listed here for you as well. Music and art are provided on the Schoology website, and the course access codes are at the bottom. If you need assistance, we're happy to help you set this up. The Conestoga Valley calendar is attached here. And the last section is customized learning with IXL. Think of IXL as a program that provides additional support that will adapt higher and lower to meet your child exactly where they are with that specific strand. Pause the video now to read through the logging in process and the diagnostic, as well as watching the diagnostic video. Last, sometimes our teachers here, Dory, myself, or Erica, will provide recommendations in IXL that will directly tie to what they're learning on K-12. This again is just providing additional practice and is not related to their scores or averages. There is a few small details here at the bottom. I hope that you find this video helpful.